doing everything right to advance your career, but for whatever reason, you just seem to gain any ground, or in your personal life too, for that matter. There's one simple thing you can do to turn it around. Odds are you're not doing it. It's goal setting, and it works. Back with us to discuss setting goals and why it can be such an amazing tool for advancing your career, business, and personal life is Mike Dolpies, author of the Amazon.com bestseller, Motion Before Motivation, The Success Secret That Never Fails. Mike, great to have you back with us this morning.
Good to be back,
Great to see
Thank
you.
you.
Talk about goal setting. I think we kind of all have our own vision of what that is, but break down basically what is goal setting? What are we talking about?
Well, it's powerful because the stats show that only 3% of Americans actually set goals. But amongst that 3% are some of the highest income earners in the country. But beyond the financial benefits, goal setting gives you focus, clarity, and feelings of control over your life. And that focus, that clarity, and those feelings of control basically produce happiness.
So you're talking about goal setting. This stuff you should write down, and you should. Is there a difference between a dream you're chasing and a goal you're setting?
Right. Well, there can be. We don't want to be thinking about wishful thinking.
Okay.
So a lot of people think, let me just think of things I want. What I encourage my audiences to do is think over the next 12 months. And the first step is to take ownership of the goal. And how you take ownership of the goal is by saying I. You express it in the first person present tense. So let's just say it's a financial goal. I earn X number of dollars per month. If it's a weight loss goal, I weigh X number of pounds. And that's the first step, is like taking ownership of the goal. It kind of convinces you that it can be possible. Of course, you've got to balance reality with ambition.
What's step one then? You actually vision a goal, write it down, post-it note.
Right. Well, actually, a good step in the process is to write and rewrite your goals on a regular basis. A good exercise to do is get yourself a spiral notebook, and about 2 or 3 times a week, you get up about 7 minutes earlier, or you go to bed 7 minutes later. And in those sessions, just 2 or 3 times a week, not a lot, you write down those goals in that expression of ownership over and over again. And then the next time you do it, you turn to a fresh sheet of paper and do it again. That kind of embeds the goal in your subconscious mind. That's really the first step.
It sounds very simple. I mean, it's not complicated at all, but your results show that this indeed works for people.
Right, it does work. See, when you begin to write down your goals, what ends up happening is you start to see opportunities. You start to see have chance meetings, start to get ideas. Now, it wasn't like those ideas and chance meetings and opportunities weren't there before. It was like getting a new car, and everyone's got it. You're just tuned in. So now you're tuned into those opportunities, those ideas, and your awareness is heightened. And you have this positive belief, knowing that you can act with confidence because you've written down those goals. And that's what's really powerful. But you have to act. I mean, it's like when I speak, I tell people, get mobilized, take action. That's really the key step here.
So when you start to see these opportunities, is one thing to see them and recognize them, which in and of itself is a big step, as you mentioned. The next thing is, okay, how do you take advantage of that opportunity? How do you jump on that opportunity?
Well, it comes from this positive belief because you have been writing them down on a regular basis. You're really focused on them, and you just have this positive knowing that, yeah, this is the right opportunity, this is the right idea. Or, no, this isn't the right opportunity, because it's at your core, you've set those goals, your really clarity and focus is right there.
Can you give us an example of maybe somebody you've worked with, or somebody you know who's followed this, had a goal, wrote it down, followed all these steps, and then followed through and had it pay off?
Well, a couple examples real quick. The most popular study was done by Harvard in 1979. They're MBA graduates. They found that 3% had written goals. The vast majority didn't. Long story short, they caught up with them 10 years later, saw that the ones in the 3% were much further along in their career. Now, when I speak to my readers, I speak to audiences, they talk about this concept a lot. And I'll tell you, I am definitely living, breathing, talking proof that it actually does work.
Right. So it can work. It's just a matter of I think, like you said, the 7-minute thing. It's just breaking your old pattern and starting a new one.
Takes a little bit of self-discipline for sure, but if you're clear about what you want, then what is 7 minutes a few times a week to at least really get focused?
Write them down, and if it pays off, who wouldn't want to do that? How can folks get in touch with you, find out more stuff, and get hands on your book?
Well, the book is available at Amazon.com and some local bookstores, mostly on Amazon, and MotionBeforeMotivation.com. There's some other tips and some other cool little bonuses there for getting the book.
And that was a bestseller on Amazon.com. Mike, as always, great advice. Appreciate seeing you and coming in and sharing your thoughts and goals with us.
Well,
I got to go write some down right now.